Hello folks, and welcome to today's lecture. I'm OLANO TEAH BLOH, prefers to be called the Guru B. So let me take you to what we have for you today. So today we're going to be looking at something called queue. So how to set a queue in a MiKroTik using the command line interface. And the main aspect of today's lesson is about limiting the upload and download traffic for the entire network, like for the entire subnet. So we're going to have a subnet that we want to limit the entire upload and download traffic for that subnet. So what is a queue? So queues are used to limit and to prioritize traffic. And for example, if you have maybe you have like an office, like you are working for the company or whatever place you are working, or you have your network, and you have different sessions of the company. For example, you have the sales, you have the staff, you have the managers, you have different sessions, and you have the human resource, or you have just medical team or the sales account team. So you can use queue to prioritize the traffic between the various departments. For example, you can create a queue and give higher priorities or higher bandwidth to the managers, and you can give lower priorities to maybe guests that will come in to use the network. So let's say maybe you purchase 10 meg from an ISP, and out of the 10 meg you want to allocate or prioritize the managers or the bosses. Those are video calls and a lot of uploads and downloads. So you want to allocate a huge bandwidth to them. So you can use this queue in MiKroTik to be able to do that. So if you have a 10 meg bandwidth subscription, maybe you can allocate 4 meg to the managers, and you can give maybe 3 megs to the general staff, maybe you get 2 meg to the guests, just that kind of allocation or prioritization. So this is simple, like is the idea about queuing. So we're going to be using this queue, and basically we're going to be using a sample queue. So we have two types of queues. We have the sample queue, and we have the tree, or you can say queue tree. So the sample queue and the queue tree, you can use that. But today we're going to be using the sample queue. It's the simplest way to limit data rate for the specific IP address or for the subnet. Maybe you have another scenario. You have this one mobile phone on the network that you realize is consuming more internet or more bandwidth, and you does not want to block this person. Maybe before they notice that, maybe you block them. So you can just get your IP address. Then what you do, you create a queue for that, and you give them maybe 5K up and down, 5K upload, 5K download. So what is going to happen to them is they're going to have a slow internet. Every time the internet is going to be, keep loading. All they are concerned, they are connected to the internet, and maybe if they come to you, definitely that's the person. So queue is just to prioritize and just to manage the network traffic. So let's go into business. So I have something here for us today. So I have this network, and basically this is the network we're going to be using for today's lecture. So we have the entire network here, our private network here, and here we have our public network here. So we are going to be limiting or restricting or prioritizing how can we control the uploads and downloads, giving a specific bandwidth to the private network within basically our local area network. We want to give a specific uploads and download streams to our private network. So how can we do that? So we have, let me take you to my MiKroTik, where I have my system running. Okay, so I'm in now. So how can we go about executing this command? So we have some simple commands to use. You use the / you say q samples, and we're gonna add a q with a name. We can give it a name, but just as only gonna give this our YouTube class. YouTube class is our name, and we're gonna give a target for this. Our target is to get the entire network 10.1.1/10.1.1.0/24. So everybody on this network are going to be restricted from what we are doing. So we get our maximum limit. Our maximum limit should be 256K by 512K, and basically this is going to help us. So this is it in just simple command. Or you can also use the interface, but using a target and using an interface maybe at a 2 on your router, it can also serve the same purpose. If you have the target, because we already have a target for this entire subnet, if you also want to specify the interface, maybe at a 2 is your local area network interface, then you can reference the interface at the 2. But just in case, you can just use the target and put the IP that you want to, the IP address or the subnet max of the subnet that you want to restrict or prioritize. So this is it, and this is how it is done. Very easy and very simple. So you can see it here that we have our queue is set and done, and it's the only queue that we have right now. Okay, so that was so much wonderful. But let us zoom. Maybe let me take you. Let's just get this case scenario. If you look at this this network, maybe you don't want to give a limitation for the server. You want the server to run, because the server IP is 10.1.1 is our IP. Okay, let's just say I want to change this. Okay, 10.1.1.1/24, because this right now, what we just did is affecting the entire network. So we want to exclude this server from this restriction. We want it to be unlimited. So how can we do that? We can create another queue here, and add another queue with the name server. So we add another queue with the name server and a target. The target should be the server IP 10.1.1.1/24. Yeah, and we set our maximum limit. So the maximum limit here, we put it to, this is going to be unlimited. Okay. Okay. It's just some kind of funny error. I was doing it for a specific machine, a specific computer, so I shouldn't have put the entire subnet. So this is just for the server. We want to exclude the server from that which you have created. So this is it. We have a tool command here. So what's happening for this queue is work with something called a FIFO, first in, first out. So if we leave this command or we leave this queue like this, the server is going to be part of this restriction. So we have to move this server up and bring this command down, so that, because the way the commands operate, it starts from up and try to go down. So it's better we first unlimit our server up, so that we can move 0. Okay, so we move 0 down and we move 1 up. So if you see, before we have the YouTube class was the 0 and we have the server was 1, but after we move it, we now have the server as 0 and the YouTube class as 1. So now the priority is going to be first, is going to be work on here, and after that it can come to the next rule. So that was it for today, and thanks for watching. Hope it was meaningful to you. And if you want to understand much about queuing, you can leave a comment and I'm gonna give you some links. I'm gonna give you some private videos, or better way we can find a way to communicate. I can also send you my email and we can be able to discuss better. So thanks so much for watching. I'm OLANO TEAH BLOH.